Anyway, here's my homemade Gladius replica. So like I use brass sheet right here because it's foldable. I had a thicker piece of brass. Actually, this was the thicker piece of brass, but it broke when we bent it in the sheet metal press that a friend of mine has. So I'm gonna put this on here once I've cleaned up the edges, after I'll clamp it, and then I'll drill all the way through the metal and in through the wood into up. I'll leave the sword in so that I don't drill all the way through. I'll probably take the sword out. And so I've got these for the sides, and the only reason is because this sheet metal is so flimsy. I'm afraid to just put these rings that I've made. Now I'm probably gonna make some better rings because this was a very brittle piece of brass that didn't seem to work out. I might buy a brass pipe at the plumbing store and cut it out so that it's oblique at the bottom, bigger and wider. So this way, this is gonna be the brass wire. It's like jewelry wire or something that I bought. I've been making rivets out of it with my other sword that I made. I also use copper. But anyway, so I'm thinking that if I mount this on the side, I can make a rivet that will not go through the wood, but will just go through the metal right to there. And so I'll have one on each side so that the middle one's supposed to go around your waist and the other one's supposed to go over your shoulder, I think. I'm having a hard time finding that all, but I've seen it before. This is a beautiful piece of bone that I looked for a year. I finally found one at a Canadian Tire. And when I recut a piece of wood with my friend's miter saw, because I sold my house, I don't have a big shop anymore. This is just a little bit too wide, so I'll probably ground down the brass plate here. And it fits just perfect. It doesn't fit perfect, it's a little bit big. I'll have to file it down or sand it. And so this is a beautiful piece of brass here that was from a lathe piece of metal. It doesn't look very real, but it's brass, and it'll polish up. So I guess my question is that for this side here, if I make rings and I put leather straps through it, I really don't want this rivet. This rivet will just go through the sheet metal, through this plate to there. And I can do that even after I've drilled the holes, because when I'm all done, then I'll have the rivet go up from inside through the wood. It'll be trickier to do that because I did it the last time. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably won't be able to. I'll probably have this go through the wood and then this just go through the sheet metal, so that this plate here, this way I can like carve on it and, I don't know, put a pirate skull on it or whatever. So I guess my question is once I get this bone here, I'll probably put the same, I've kind of made it octagonal, but it's not quite finished. Because like, I'm gotten to the point where I'm terrified to do anymore, because if I do too much, I might ruin it, and then I'll have to, like, this is my third or fourth piece. This one, unfortunately, it's not quite thick enough. So anyway, so I gotta polish most of this up, that as well. The bone, like I can probably use a flat binder. I guess I'm kind of paranoid about, I want to make this really at a right angle. It's not quite. I started hand filing it, but when I started hand filing it, it didn't seem to work out right. So I'm thinking maybe putting it, I'm paranoid. I don't want to overcut it, right? But I'm thinking I might get a piece of wood, put pegs into it, hold it into place so that the wood is straight, have it at a 90-degree angle, and then use a miter saw to cut a 90-degree perpendicular cut there. And then, then I'll use a bunch of wooden skewers in it so that it doesn't move around. And then that way, when I've got it right up to there, then I will be able to hand file so that it tapers down a little bit. Let me show you hold on, I'll show you the actual Gladius here, hold on. like I said, the tip looks like a freaking orc made it. It's not. Center would probably be just a little bit off. The tip's broken off. This is not going to pass forged in fire because my son bent the tip one time about a year ago. We've been working on this for a while. But as you can tell, the metal's a bit thicker from here back, thinner up here, so that the balance is right about there. And right about there. And actually, let me just see what it's like. So yeah, balance is right about there, but with the bone, it'll move back just a bit. It's just about a little under 1/4 pound heavier than an actual Mainz Gladius.